24 hours to give the president reasons as to why he shouldn't be fired. Last week, the Nugent Commission submitted its interim report, which, with its main recommendation being that Moyane must be removed. eNCA's Heidi Giokos has been following the story and joins me now. So, Heidi, the president has already been taking some action. Even today, Nomgcobo Jiba and Lawrence Mkhwebi being suspended at the NPA. The clock is ticking for Tom Moyane. But there's a context to all of this, right? It's the Nugent Commission's recommendation that he must be removed, a recommendation that they seem willing to stick by.
That is exactly it, Tula. So we saw last week that the President had received the interim report by Judge Nugent and his panel from the Commission of Inquiry into Tax Administration at SARS. And the main and final recommendation, despite the fact that the final report only needs to be released by the end of November, is that they believe Tom Moyane needs to be removed as Commissioner. And he was very stern in his words, basically saying that even though there are more submissions and even though there still needs to be a final report, they are sticking by that recommendation. Let's just have a listen to what he had to say.
You can debate, if you like, those conclusions, whether they ought to have been reached and so forth. Well, debate that if you will. But that was our view, and that is the view we stick with, and we won't go back to that in the final report because it's been reported on finally. As far as we are concerned, the present Commissioner should be removed as early as possible.
So the clock is ticking for Tom Moyane, as I said a bit earlier on. Less than 24 hours remaining now for him to make those submissions to the president. Any idea if they have made those submissions? Have we been able to get hold of them?
So we've been trying to contact them the whole day. I've been trying to contact Tom Moyane's lawyer, Eric Mabuza, and he has not returned my calls. And I think it's probably because they're trying to file these, reasons as to why he should not be fired. But basically, we're trying to establish whether these representations to the president will be similar to the 900-page affidavit that they submitted to the Constitutional Court. And basically what Tom Moyane is arguing is the fact that he has a disciplinary hearing as well as his Commission of Inquiry running together at the same time, and he feels that it is unfair. This affidavit goes to explain how when he was running SARS, it was a well-oiled machine and there was never any issues. This affidavit just goes on to explain how...
Yeah, in fact, his view, as far as we can glean it from that affidavit that has been filed in the Constitutional Court, is that this entire Nugent Commission is a kangaroo court.
Those were his exact words, and we actually saw that from when they did present themselves at the Commission in June during the very first week, that they felt that the Commission of Inquiry is biased, it's unlawful, and they went as far as to say it's a kangaroo court. And they believe that they have been very unfairly treated. However, you have a situation where Judge Nugent is saying, I've given you ample opportunity and fair opportunity, just like I've given everybody else, to make representations, specifically oral representations, because it just works easier with the Commission. And they have not done so. But they strongly believe that they have been unfairly treated.
So we know now what President Ramaphosa thinks of the two at the NPA, Advocate Lawrence Mkhwebi and Nomgcobo Jiba. We don't know yet whether he'll actually go that step of firing Tom Moyane as recommended by the Nugent Commission. But we know that the thinking, at least in the Ramaphosa administration, is that a lot is broken at SARS. And this we know from the Finance Minister, Tito Mboweni. What did he say? So yesterday
you had a situation where the Finance Minister presented the midterm budgets, and he specifically spoke about how there is very poor governance and leadership at the Revenue Service, and it is a very big concern. Let's just listen to what he had to say.
Urgently fix the South African Revenue Service. It is a matter of public record that the capacity of SARS has been weakened. It is in this context that the SARS leadership must and has to be strengthened. We cannot expect to continue functioning effectively if the tax collection authority is broken.
So very quickly then, Heidi, part of the concern, isn't it? It has to do with the issue of the capacity of SARS to conduct investigations, which, according at least to the view of the finance minister, has been decimated over the years.
Exactly, Tulas. I've been sitting in this commission since June, and on numerous occasions you hear how very important investigative units and structures have been dismantled at the Revenue Service. And we don't to this day understand why or how it was done. But it's very concerning, given the fact that there's a massive revenue shortfall.
So keep your eye on your inbox. Sooner or later, you might hear from Eric Mabuza and the team from Tom Moyane as to whether or not they will be making those submissions in the next 24 hours. That is eNCA's Heidi Giokos keeping track of that story to do with the SARS Commissioner Tom Moyane.